Welcome in to this first more longer formed edition of Quick Kick Around the Pitch. Listen, the Euros is here. It's Euro week. The Euros start on Friday. So to kick all this off, I figured we'd do a more, wide viewing look at this European Championship. So the schedule, at least my plan for this week is we'll do this today. Monday we'll do groups A and B preview. Tuesday will be C and D. Wednesday will be E and F, obviously. And then Thursday we'll do a full prediction show. And then Friday, we wander into the great unknown. And that is what we are here for. We are here to see what these teams can do at this level. The Euros kick off on Friday in Munich with Germany and Scotland starting us off. So basically just let's start. What is the Euros? So the Euros is basically a World Cup except European teams. It's pretty much that simple. I'll say the same thing about the Copa America. It's the World Cup except South American teams. Now this year there's the addition of a few North American and Central American teams, but that's different for a different video. Euros have been going on since, I believe, the early 60s. They've provided some great games, and basically just like any other tournament, you got to qualify to get in. So we went through a whole qualifying process, and now here we are, the 24 best teams in Europe. And there are a few omissions in there, but mostly we have the 24 best teams going to this tournament. Now, back in 2020, technically 2021, but our last version of the Euro was Euro 2020. The tournament was scattered throughout all of Europe as a celebration of football. I believe it was like the 10th anniversary or the 10th tournament or something like that. And that was the reasoning given behind it. This year, we are back to one centrally located country hosting this tournament, and that country is Germany. If you think back on Germany's history, they've hosted plentiful amount of tournaments. I mean, you don't really have to go back that far. They hosted the 2011 Women's World Cup. They hosted the 2006 Men's World Cup. They hosted Euro 1988. Of course, that was West Germany at the time. And of course, West Germany also hosted the 1974 FIFA Men's World Cup. So Germany, it is a big, long history of hosting big tournaments. We have ended up with 10 cities hosting for this tournament. It will be the Olympiastadion in Berlin, of course, a very storied venue going back to the 1936 Olympics. Stadium gone through major renovations for the 06 World Cup, and it is still basically one of the best stadiums in the world. Then you go to Munich. We have the Fußball Arena in Munich, home of FC Bayern Munich. This stadium was built for the 06 World Cup, and it is one of the crown jewels in all of football, one of the best stadiums out there. You have the Westfalenstadion in Dortmund, home of Borussia Dortmund, the Champions League finalists this year. The Yellow Wall, of course, a just beautiful, picturesque scene for all football fans. You have the Volksparkstadion in Hamburg. This stadium, once again, it's one of the older stadiums here. We'll, of course, get to a breakdown of each venue coming up, but you have the Dusseldorf Arena in Dusseldorf, obviously. You have the Leipzig Stadium in Leipzig, home of RB Leipzig. Of course, a lot of people hate that team just given that RB does not, for some people, stand for Rasenballsport, as they tell you. It stands for Red Bull. And Germany has rules with ownership, and that's a whole different story for another day. You have the Frankfurt Arena in Frankfurt, of course. They've hosted NFL games the past few years, along with the Fußball Arena in Munich. So you may know it from that. You have the Stuttgart Arena in Stuttgart. You have the Arena auf Schachel, that is home to Schachel FC, a very storied club in German football. They've fallen on tough times. And then, of course, you have the Cologne Stadium in Cologne, another venue that is just steeped in tradition. So let's do a quick breakdown of all these venues, and we start off with the one that will be hosting the final. The Olympiastadion in Berlin, opened in 1936 for those 1936 Olympics, was majorly renovated prior to the 2006 World Cup, and it has a capacity of 70,033. This stadium has, it's hosted the 06 World Cup. It's hosted Euro 1998. It's hosted the 1974 World Cup. This stadium has truly, it's seen it all. There was a lot of debate coming into this tournament when the locations were being determined. Are they going to host the final at the Olympiastadion? Is it going to be in Munich? They went with the tradition. They went with the Olympiastadion, and it will add another final into its long, illustrious history. It will host 3 group stage games. It will host Spain, Croatia, Poland, Austria, and the Netherlands, Austria, before hosting 1 round of 16 game and 1 quarterfinal game before hosting the final on July 14th. The Football Arena in Munich, it opened in 2005. As I said, it is home to Bayern Munich. It is one of the most beautiful stadiums in the world, with a capacity of 66,026. This is going to be your stadium for the opener of Germany-Scotland. It will host 3 more group stage games after that, including Romania, Ukraine, Slovenia, Serbia, and Denmark, Serbia, before hosting 1 round of 16 game and 1 semifinal. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, this game hosted NFL games in the past few years, so maybe that name sounds familiar to you. That might be why. But the stadium was host to matches in the 2006 World Cup, and it's a great venue for football. It's a football venue built for the game. We move on to the Westfalenstadion in Dortmund. It opened in 1974. Its iconic yellow wall is one of the most memorable things as a football fan. It has a capacity of 61,524. And similar to the Olympiastadion, this stadium, it's hosted a lot. It's hosted the World Cup in 74. It's hosted in the Euro of 88. I believe it did host matches in the 2011 Women's World Cup. It hosted matches in 2006, obviously. So that's another good thing with this tournament. With the Euros, you truly aren't going to, countries like Qatar that have to build brand new infrastructure for these. These are all stadiums that have been around for many and many of years, and have a lot of history behind them. So the Westfalenstadion will be hosting 4 group stage games: Italy, Albania, Turkey, Georgia, Turkey, Portugal, and France, Poland, before hosting 1 round of 16 game and the other semifinal in this tournament. So our semifinals will be in Dortmund and Munich before the winners of that head on to Berlin for the final. We move on to the Volksparkstadion. This is in the city of Hamburg. It is opened in 1953, has undergone major renovations. I believe it was before the 2006 World Cup. This stadium, another one, it's hosted a lot. It's hosted the 1974 World Cup. It's hosted Euro 88. It's hosted the World Cup in 06. It hosted the Europa League final in 2010 when Atletico Madrid defeated Fulham 2-1 in the final. And of course, it is hosting matches here at the Euro. It is 4 group stage games, which is Poland, Netherlands, Croatia, Albania, Georgia, Czechia, and Czechia, Turkey, before hosting 1 quarterfinal game. So you'll notice most of these venues aren't hosting more than 2. I think one of them may be getting 3 knockout games, but a lot of these venues are only getting 1 or 2 knockout games, which I think makes sense. Spread it around. Don't have it, centrally located basically in one spot. We now move on to the Dusseldorf Arena, which is the westernmost stadium of this Euro 2024 in the city of Dusseldorf. It opened up in the year 2004, and like a lot of stadiums at that time, they were being opened up for either the World Cup or stadiums were being massively renovated for the World Cup that was coming 2 years later. Dusseldorf Arena did not host any games at that 2006 World Cup. So this is the first major tournament that this stadium's going to host. It's got a retractable roof. We have 3 stadiums that have a retractable roof. Retractable roofs aren't a huge thing in Europe. To have 3 in a tournament kind of seems like a bigger deal than I think a lot of people are making it out to be. This stadium is hosting 3 group stage games. They're hosting Austria, France, Slovakia, and Ukraine, and Albania, Spain, along with 1 round of 16 game and 1 quarterfinal game. We move on to Leipzig Stadium. This stadium was opened in 2004, and this stadium has a little bit of history around it. This stadium is the only stadium that was formerly a part of East Germany in this World Cup. It's one of 2 that's currently in the Bundesliga. And the stadium also a little bit interesting. As I said, it opened in 2004. This stadium was built on the site of the Zentralstadion, which hosted over 100,000 spectators. It's kind of a similar situation to what Soldier Field has right now. Like the stadium is built within the old stadium, kind of, if that makes sense. If you kind of know the outside of the original Soldier Field is still there. This stadium is basically built into a bowl. The stadium hosted games at the 2006 World Cup. It was the only stadium there that was from East Germany at the time. I hosted, I believe, 5 games of that tournament. This, of course, it will be hosting Euro 2024, which they will be hosting 4 games for this tournament. Portugal, Czechia, Netherlands, France, Croatia, Italy, and 1 round of 16 game. We now move on to the Frankfurt Arena, one of the oldest stadiums here at this World Cup. It technically opened in 1925. It has undergone major renovations at points. One of them being for the 1974 World Cup when it hosted matches, and the other one being 2005, of course, the lead up to the 2006 World Cup. This stadium, it has a ton of history. It hosted matches for that 1974 World Cup, like I said. It hosted matches at Euro 1988. It hosted matches in the Confederations Cup in 2005. It was the host of the final that year. It hosted matches at the 2006 World Cup. It hosted the final for the 2011 Women's World Cup. And it's adding on to its illustrious history with 5 matches of this Euro 2024. Belgium, Slovakia, Denmark, England, Switzerland, Germany, Slovakia, Romania, and 1 round of 16 game. This is another one of those stadiums that has a retractable roof. It hosted 2 NFL games this year, or this past year, I should say. The Chiefs, Dolphins, and the Patriots, Colts. They played that game in Germany over there last year. It was the site of the final World Bowl, if you remember. NFL Europe was home to the Frankfurt Galaxy, a stadium with an illustrious history and one of the most innovative stadiums at this tournament. As I said, the retractable roof, it's more of a canopy than it is a retractable roof. So the Frankfurt Arena, probably one of my favorite stadiums at this Euro. We move on to the Stuttgart Arena, another one of the older stadiums here, just under 51,000 capacity. This stadium was opened in 1933, so it is now 91 years old. This stadium, it's hosted a lot. Similar to what we just saw with the Frankfurt Arena, this stadium hosted matches at the 1974 World Cup, Euro 1988, the 06 World Cup, where it hosted the 3rd place match with host Germany playing in that game, of course. It's hosted 3 UEFA Club Competition Finals. It hosted the 1959 European Cup Final, where Real Madrid won that one. Atletico Madrid won the Cup Winners' Cup Final in 1962. And in 1988, PSV Eindhoven walked away with the European Cup against Benfica on penalties. This stadium, it's gone through a lot of changes since its opening. I mean, the stadium used to have a running track around it up until the renovations in 2004, 2005, around there. It's hosting 5 matches at this Euro: Slovenia, Denmark, Germany, Hungary, Scotland, Hungary, Ukraine, Belgium, and 1 quarter-final match. And we move on to the Arena of Schakal. This stadium opened in 2001. Here is your 3rd stadium with a retractable roof at this Euro. This stadium, kind of just like many other stadiums, it was built because of the 2006 World Cup. The United States played a game there at the World Cup in 2006 where they lost 3-0 to Czechia. I believe they also played host to a quarterfinal match in that World Cup where England went out on penalties to Portugal. This stadium also, for a short period in time, held the record for largest hockey crowd to watch a game, as 77,803 people showed up to watch Germany beat the United States in overtime of the opening game of the 2010 IIHF World Hockey Championships. This stadium, like I said, it's got a lot that's happened with it. It's home to Schalke, who are one of the bigger clubs in Germany. They've fallen on hard times. They're in the second Bundesliga. They're struggling as of now, but it will be hosting 4 games at this Euro. It will be hosting Serbia, England, Spain, Italy, Georgia, Portugal, and then 1 round of 16 matchup. And then we move on finally to the Cologne Stadium in the city of Cologne, obviously. 1923 it opened. So once again, we got one of those stadiums that they've been around for a long time, underwent massive renovations through those times. It's home to FC Köln, who just got relegated from the Bundesliga. They will be playing in the second Bundesliga next year. The renovations, of course, happened most recently for that 2006 World Cup, where they hosted 5 matches for that tournament. And it will be once again hosting 5 matches for this tournament, as Hungary, Switzerland, Scotland, Switzerland, Belgium, Romania, England, Slovenia in 1 round of 16 matchup will be played at the Cologne Stadium. So now that we've gone through the stadiums, I guess it's now time to figure out how does this tournament work. We have groups of 4. We have 6 of them. Each day for the next, 14 days. I say most days because there are a few weird days thrown in there, but basically you're going to have 3 matches a day. There are, of course, the first day of the tournament, you're only going to have 1 game. There's a few days in there thrown in that you're only going to have 2 games. And then as you get to the final round of the group stage, so match day 3 of the group stages, you're going to end up having 4 games a day, and 2 games will be kicking off at simultaneous times. And then past that, you get your top 2 of your group advancing to the round of 16, and then you are going to have 4 third-place teams advancing to that round of 16. And once you get to that round of 16, it's pretty simple. It's just a bracket breakdown. If you win, you advance. If you lose, you're out. And of course, once we get to that round of 16, there's no more draws. Well, technically, there are still draws, but somebody's winning and somebody's losing, whether it be in extra time or on penalty. Somebody will advance and somebody will lose. A difference to the Euro than Copa America or the World Cup, there is no third place game. So if you lose your semifinal, you don't have a third place game to look forward to. You are just done for the tournament. So who qualified for this 24-team tournament? Well, there was one obvious one, and that was Germany. The host automatically qualified for the tournament, so they did not have to go through Euro qualifiers. They add on to their 14 appearances in this tournament, which is a record for the Euro. This will be their 14th appearance. You have Scotland joining them in Group A, who are only making their 4th appearance in the Euro. The last time they qualified was the last tournament, which was 2020. You have Hungary, who are qualifying for the 5th time. It is their 3rd straight time qualifying, as they've qualified for the 2016 and 2020 editions previously. Before that, they hadn't qualified since 1972. And finally, in Group A, you have Switzerland joining them, which they will be in there for the 6th time. Just like Hungary, it's the 3rd straight. They qualified in 2016 and 2020. Previous to that was 2008. We look at Group B, and this group on paper is the group of death. You have Spain, the 3-time winners of this tournament, in their 12th appearance in the Euros. This group is just stacked with teams, because then right after Spain, you get Croatia, who, although their golden generation is starting to age out of the game, they still make their 7th ever appearance in the Euro. And they've basically qualified every single time that they've been a country. The only time they hadn't qualified was 2000. They've qualified 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, and 2020, and of course now 2024. And right after that, you get the winners of the previous Euro. You get Italy. Although they can't seem to qualify for a World Cup, they sure can qualify for a Euro. They are in their 11th tournament appearance in the Euro. And then we have Albania joining them. They are the ones that are getting thrown to the wolves here. They've only made one previous appearance in this Euro, which was 2016. So they make their 2nd appearance in Euro history. We move on to Group C. You get Slovenia, who are making their 2nd appearance. They haven't qualified since 2000. So it is a big day for Slovenian football, the fact that they will be here at this Euro. You move on to Denmark. They made the semifinals in 2020. This will be their 10th appearance at the Euro. Then, of course, you get Serbia, who are in their 6th qualification. They haven't qualified since 2000. So just like Slovenia, they haven't qualified for a while. So it's good to see them back on the stage. And then, of course, you get the 3 Lions. You get England. They are in their 11th appearance. Their 4th straight appearance, because they did not qualify in 2008. This feels like it's going to be a big tournament for England, but it all starts with getting out of this group stage. We move on to Group D. You get the neighbors of Germany in Poland. This is going to be their 5th appearance. It's their 5th straight appearance too, as they qualified in 2008, 2012, 2016, and 2020. And now here we are in 2024. You move on, you get the Netherlands, a team that is always dangerous, making their 11th appearance in this tournament. You get Austria, another somewhat neighbor of Germany. This will be their 4th appearance in the Euro. And then you round that out with the runners-up of the World Cup in 2022. And of course, the winners in 2018, and that is France, making their 11th appearance here on the Euro stage. Then you get to Group E. You get Belgium, who are making their 7th appearance in this tournament. It is their 3rd straight, having not qualified previous to 2016 since 2000, when they co-hosted the tournament with the Netherlands. You get Slovakia, who have qualified for a 6th time to this tournament. You get Romania as your 3rd team in this group. This is their 6th time qualifying, the 1st time qualifying since 2016. And then you get Ukraine, who made it in through the playoffs. This is their 4th straight Euro appearance, with the first one of those 4 being 2012, when they co-hosted with Poland. And to round it out, in Group F, you have Turkey, who are making their 6th appearance, their 3rd straight. You have Georgia, who are making their debut here on the Euro stage. It's a small country, but they have qualified for the Euro through the playoff. You, of course, then have Portugal, who, of course, are just dominant on the world stage, it seems, at times, of course. And then you have Czechia closing it all out. This is their 11th appearance. So that is just a quick, somewhat preview of what is happening this summer in Germany. Like I said, coming tomorrow, we'll do a Group A and Group B preview. Tuesday will be Group C and D. Wednesday will be E and F. Thursday will be a full predictions. Looking forward to figuring out who's going to win this tournament. And then come Friday, the tournament gets underway in Germany as Germany takes on Scotland. So thank you so much for watching this longer form edition of Quick Kick Around the Pitch. Thank you so much for watching. If you just stumbled across this, click like, click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it, because there's basically going to be like 2 or 3 videos every day coming up on Friday and past that. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again very soon for another either Euro, Copa America, something soccer related. Thank you so much for watching.